Okay, first of all, brain police is very important in this. I think this is actually not just meta, but please don't be insulted. It doesn't matter if she is or is not a philosopher. It's an arbitrary distinction, but I grant that everybody is in some sense. I am identifying a certain kind of dishonesty that I think means that, just like everybody's a philosopher, but somebody can build a big work. I think her work was to erase what her real philosophy was by calling it something else and trying to fit that in, right? So I just don't want to call that. But really, it doesn't matter. And if you get ideas and tools from her, I mean, I have read more than a couple paragraphs in a row where I basically agree with what she's saying about perceptualism, for example. But she contradicts that. And she doesn't really seem to notice. And it's an obliteration of the philosophy you really derive from how she thinks things work, both in her novels and in her regular life. But I'm going to watch the rest of the video, but I just want to say this. I respect that you have learned something in there. This is a position on a particular philosopher. I believe that she should be considered, like I said, she'll even come up philosophically. I'd say cover her in a philosophy of science fiction writers. And I am thinking I'm willing to read that book I've never read entirely on objectivist epistemology. So, but don't say it's a like a bad relationship between objectivists and non-objectivists. I continually talk and are civil and have various respects that I show and feel for people that value Rand, people that don't, but think it's ridiculous that I mean, and basically I'm a pretty egalitarian. I'm so angry on Rand, you could say it's a bias, but I do have an argument about why, and it's based on basically, to me, we don't have truth now the way we used to think of it classically, the way Rand thinks, but we have honesty. So I think she claimed to be thinking about truth in a way that was dishonest. And I believe honesty is necessary to define any sense of truth. Since there is not absolute truth, there's relative point of view truth, which requires honesty. So it's just a claim that she's a very dishonest when considered as a philosopher. Dishonest enough that what do you study? What principles that go together? Where's the consistency that you can study? And that isn't actually consistent, whatever grain of truth of it being a subject elsewhere. Where? It's a lot of things that she didn't put the way they really should have been put. Things about people. But I am. Let's go through. I'll buy that. I'll go ahead and break my rule. I'll buy the Rand book, and we can go through and read it together. We'll do Skype calls. Read a chapter a week.